Hello everyone. So my name is Alvie and I'm here to deliver another message. So welcome back to those who have been with me previously and welcome to those who are with me for the first time. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for your time. Okay, so I intend to entitle this video on getting unstuck. Okay, and well, I just had the urge to make this because I was pushed by my angels again just a few minutes ago, and I knew that I had just had to get it out. Okay, so one of you at least might benefit from this. You might be going through a certain type of situation right now where you think you should get you should get out of your head about. Okay, so there. Um, this as I was trying to collect my thoughts regarding this video, I just I just recalled two of my other videos. So it's one is about making decisions, and the other one was the dream about sharks on overcoming your fears. Okay, so so I guess this video will be tied in with those videos, so you might want to check those after watching this one if you think that this resonates with you. Okay, so okay, going back to when you have made your decision already. So when I made the video on making decisions, I mentioned in there the things that you might be going through, the situations and the feelings and thoughts that you might be having once you are trying to make a decision. And then hopefully by now, if there are things that you if there's something that you have decided on to do, then hopefully, how are you doing, guys? So how's it coming along? Okay, so have you finally made that decision? Now, after making that decision, sometimes you have other decisions to make, like how to go about seeing that decision through. Okay, like for example, just for example, very simple. If you have made the decision to be less of a worrier, or not warrior, a warrior in your life. So that might seem a small thing, but then actually getting out of your head is a very very good thing, and then it could impact your life as a whole. So there, just a simple decision on, okay, I'm not going to be too much of a worrier this at this time. I won't worry too much. Okay, so let's just stick with that. Okay, now while I'm talking here, you might want to, well, have that decision you have in mind, the one that you have decided on already. If there's a decision that you're trying to carry, um, to just implement. Okay. Okay. Um, Now, when we have made a certain decision about something, a certain situation or a certain circumstance, or which involves even other people, then it is normal for us to get stuck. Okay, it doesn't mean that when you have decided already, everything would be okay. Especially if you're still trying to list down the steps you need to take in order to carry out that decision. Okay, so. So a while ago, well, what inspired me to make this video was a decision or a resolve that I also made for the new year. I'm not going to tell you about it. It's something personal, but anyway. Anyway, um, I just want to share with you what happened a while ago. So I was just fixing, but there were thoughts that were trying to come in my head, and well, when you get to be an adult and as you grow up and as you grow older, You very seldom cry already, okay? But a while ago, all of a sudden, I was fixing, and there was just this weight in my chest, and I just had to let it out. So I shed a few tears, and after that, I was I was in my head about a couple of stuff, and then suddenly, as I progressed with with the next couple of hours, I decided to just get a video out of that experience. So hopefully, this helps you, as I mentioned. Okay, so once you've made your decision already, sometimes you get stuck. Why? Because sometimes we have the tendency of um, trying to put more thoughts again of the like getting into the old habit of getting confused before making that decision. I think it's just a matter of conditioning, like, well, for example, if you don't want to be worrying anymore, then you have to ask yourself the question: how much do you want that? How much do you want to be that? So instead of entertaining the old thoughts or the old habits of just getting into a whirlpool of confusion again, then you might as well face yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I told you not to worry too much anymore. Do you really want to be that person, or do you want to go back to the old you? Okay, so there's that. Now, if your decisions are involving things that are of greater consequence or significance in your life, then sometimes it's normal for the old fears to come knocking. For the old fears to come knocking and testing you if you are going to open that door and entertain those fears again. So that's basically it. So, as I said, one of my videos about the dream I had about sharks is about overcoming one's fears. So in there, you might want to check that out. But then, well, like I said, well, it's normal to get stuck. It's normal to be a little bit more confused, but try not to be that confused anymore, okay? Try not to be that fearful anymore, because actually what you are trying to overcome this time, upon having made that decision, is just to get out of the old habit, okay? Now, once you start focusing on your decision, then, well, once you start turning away from the door that where okay, where fear keeps on knocking on it, or confusion keeps on knocking on your door, once you decide to turn away from that door and just walk as far as you can from that door and focus on what's right ahead of you, the decision that you've made, that hopefully is your peaceful place, as I mentioned in the video on making decisions. If something feels peaceful, okay, go for it. There was also this, I was also going through my old um list of text messages before, when I still wasn't using Messenger. So I used to have a compilation of text messages, and I would write them down. And anyway, one of those one of some of them were really, well, really got me out of that, well, temporary setback that I had. Okay, so there's one that goes, how was it stated? There's one that goes, if you want to get somewhere, just try not to be where you're at. Something like that. Okay? And also, you don't, well, going back to when I was suddenly in tears a while ago, um, also, sometimes some of us, or well, most of us, Or maybe we've gotten into the habit already of just facing another day, and that is a very good thing. But it doesn't mean that that because you're always seeing someone smile, or it's just because someone is always inspirational or stuff like that, doesn't mean that they're not going through what everybody's going through. Okay, we're all going through a state of confusion sometimes, or heartbreak, or well everything that just makes up this thing that we call life. Okay, so there's also one quote that says, the strong person in the morning is the one who cried at night. Now if you have to let it out, as I said in another one of my videos, just be authentic with yourself, face your emotions, embrace your emotions. If you need to let them out, let them out. And after that, don't go back don't go backward and open that door where you intended to close already. Okay, I don't mean shut other people out, or anything like that. just just usually, usually we are stuck in our own minds. So it's that mindset that probably has kept us from smiling a little bit more, or laughing a little bit more, or being more cheerful and authentic being cheerful. Okay, sometimes we use laughter as a defense mechanism, like we just want to project that we're happy all the time, but we're not. Okay, so it's that one. Okay, uh so I don't know. I don't know what next I have to talk about. But again, I feel the need to repeat this. Okay, so once you have made your decision already, and then sometimes, of course, there are these forces that try to get you back to where you used to be after you walked a few steps ahead already. um there will be these forces along the way that are just going to test you. Just take them as tests. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to go back once you've made up your mind already. And it would be really it would be so ironic if you've been trying to make a decision for the longest time, and once you made that decision, you keep going back, right? What's the use of making that decision? So, but along the way, in trying to fulfill that decision, what I'm trying to say is that there will be forces that are going to just test you. And these tests, I think these tests are just asking you, is it still what you want? That's basically what kept on coming to me a while ago. Is it still what you want? Now, if it's still what you want, you stay on track and you wake up the next day and try to make the decision to just do that, just fulfill, or follow through with that decision for yet another day, and yet another day, and yet another day, until you are now no longer dragging your steps. Okay, so it's a matter of gaining acceleration or momentum. Just so it might be difficult to start doing that, but as with walking, as with trying to learn how to walk for the first time, so you try to get your balance, and then you walk a few steps, stumble a few steps, but once you're better at it already, you start walking faster, and then you start running, and you start being excited about go heading for, or going for what you really want. So as with riding a bicycle also, first you get your balance, you're not very good at it, and or skating, like my son went skating last December, and I remember the first time I went skating, I'm still not very good at it. He's even a lot better at it. But while he was at it, he kept on falling a lot, but he tried not to hold my hand. That's how determined he was. That's how determined he was on wanting to skate, and he's always been very brave anyway, even with swimming. But I won't be going to all of those things again. But there is something to be learned when it comes to that. When it comes to, okay, like deciding to skate through your life. So At first you're starting to get your balance, and then you keep on falling, and then you get back up. You get back up. Why? Because when you fall, it's either you should it's either you decide not to go, not to push through with it, or to just keep on learning how to do it. Okay, when you fall, there's a decision of getting back up, or just quitting the whole thing. So it's that. So it's basically every time we fall, there is the question of whether or not it is still what you want. Is it still what you want? If it's still what you want, get back up and then try again. You fall again. Is it still what you want? If your answer is yes, get back up. And then if you get into the habit of getting back up and you're getting better at it, sooner or later you would you would just be heading for it, for your goal, for your decision, with less and less effort. And then if it's actually a decision, a very big decision, where you thought that, where the first thing that made you decide to do that thing is because you know that at the end of your goal, it is something that will be so peaceful and exhilarating for you, despite the opposing forces, despite everything coming at you, despite falling, despite bumping and fall, well, bumping and falling, and having all these aches. um then there will come a point sooner or later when you are going to start enjoying already the fruits of that decision that you have made. And I'm so convinced about it. Okay, so there. Uh-huh. Okay, we're at 17 minutes, guys. Thank you for bearing with me in this video. I would like to leave with you another one of the text messages that I stored over the years. And it says, the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in one's determination. It's very beautiful. Okay? So the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in one's determination. Okay, so at this point, I think this is a very good thing to talk about at the start of the year, when we have made our resolutions and are trying to get our balance on really having a go at it. Okay, so there. So this is just me, Alvie, saying find your strength, find your peace, find your balance, stay with God. Keep on connecting with the divine and with the divine in you. Okay, until next time, guys, take care. God bless.